shouldn't be going through this at my school. Like, this is my daily life. I shouldn't have to feel like that. And I feel scared to even go back.
A community left grieving and in shock after another school shooting. This one in Santa Fe, leaving 10 people dead. What we know about the shooter and the threats after the shooting coming up.
And the emotional toll the shooting is taking on this tight-knit community. Students recount the terrifying moments. I'm Jessica Crawford reporting live from Santa Fe.
Fox 4 News starts right now.
We come together today as we deal with one of the most heinous attacks that we've ever seen in the history of Texas schools. It's impossible to describe the magnitude of the evil of someone who would attack innocent children in a school, a place of learning where parents should be able to send their children without fear for their child's safety.
We begin tonight with a tragedy in Texas. A total of 10 dead after a gunman opened fire in art class at Santa Fe High School this morning. That gunman identified as Demetrius Pagutsis, a 17-year-old student at the high school. He's now in Galveston County Jail. Fox 4's Jessica Crawford has been there for us much of the day. She'll join us in a moment live there. But first, here's more of what we know about the shooting investigation.
I was scared for her. I didn't know what to think. I shouldn't be going through this at my school. Like, this is my daily life. I shouldn't have to feel like that. And I feel scared to even go back.
Fear and chaos at Santa Fe, Texas High School Friday morning after a gunman enters an art class opening fire. Witnesses say after spotting the shooter, another student pulled the fire alarm to alert others.
My friend said he saw some kid walking down the hallway with a gun or something, so he casually walked and then he pulled the fire alarm, he ran out, and then he ran.
We were sitting in the classroom, and I heard really loud booms. It's been happening everywhere. I've always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too. So, I don't know. I wasn't surprised, I was just scared.
Harris County Sheriff's Office saying 2 people are in custody. In addition to the casualties, several injuries, including a police officer. Officials say devices that could be explosives were found near the school, and they have a warning for the community.
I want to reiterate that to all community members to keep a vigilant watch around the areas that you know, your neighborhoods, for any suspicious items.
President Trump addressing the tragedy, offering a full range of federal resources to assist.
This has been going on too long in our country, too many years, too many decades now. We grieve for the terrible loss of life.
Santa Fe High School was set to hold a graduation ceremony in the school's auditorium this Saturday. The status of that event has yet to be determined. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
Tonight, of course, the Santa Fe community is left in shock, trying to deal with a way to deal with the pain and the hurt and the anger. Now we go to Fox 4's Jessica Crawford, who is there and spoke with a student who was at the school as shots were fired. Unfortunately, one of his friends was shot but survived. Jessica joins us live now. Jessica, can you talk to us about the atmosphere there?
All right, that's very true, Kimberly. We did meet that young man, and we met him right here outside the Alamo building. So this was sort of a staging area throughout the day. It's where the high schoolers were shuffled off to after this very tragic shooting happened. And I'll tell you this, Kimberly, that wherever you go here in Santa Fe, it's very clear that the shooting has touched the lives of each family, each mother, each father, each child in some way. Parents reunite with students after a high school shooting that shook a small town.
Scary and weird at the same time. You don't know why it happened and you don't want it to happen again.
Logan Roberts is a senior at Santa Fe High School. Friday, just days away from graduation, his life will never be the same.
And we were just sitting there, we heard 2 gunshots.
One of the many gunshots hit his friend.
Brianna, sending prayers to her. She ended up getting shot in the leg.
Students praying for students and a community hoping to put an end to school shootings.
It's really terrible for this town. It really is.
Elizabeth Rivera says her niece escaped from the school and the violence.
I could hear her over the phone when I called my sister. just chaos. You know, it was like screaming and everything. I couldn't hear anything that was going on. And she was screaming, crying.
Now that the shooting has stopped, the most important thing to Roberts is family.
My brother, who desperately wanted to see me, I was like, Mom, let's just go get my brother and just make sure he knows I'm safe.
A survivor, now embracing the life of his family after so many lives were lost at his school. Group held a prayer service at a local park at 5. Well, I'm live in Santa Fe. Jessica Crawford, Fox 4.
All right, thank you so much, Jessica, for that. More reaction from 2 state leaders sharing comments about the shooting as well. Take a listen to what Kevin Brady and Joaquin Castro had to say.
Each occasion is a tragedy, no doubt, and especially where there is the potential for mental illness as a major factor.
Of course, my thoughts are with the people of the community there in Santa Fe and with the folks that were affected. We're still finding out details, but it's also a shame that Congress has not done a single thing to protect our students from gun violence.
And of course, our thoughts are with the families as well who were affected. And as we take a deeper look into what unfolded this morning in Santa Fe, we want to know, what should students and school staff do when a shooter opens fire on campus? And of course, for that, we have Rod Carroll, Chief of Police in Vidor, joins us now to have that conversation. Rod, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I do want to start by asking this, when kids encounter, and we had one student there who just said that she wasn't surprised, she was just more scared than anything. But when you have that situation, what should we do?
Well, it's simple. I think there's been several, classes put on. Run, hide, fight is a slogan that they've come up with. Is you need to make sure you exit the area where the killing is taking place. If you have a chance to hide somewhere, whether it's inside the building or outside the building, do that. If you're cornered, are you going to lay there as a sheep, or are you going to fight like a wolf?
Right, and can you imagine some of these students probably trying to decide that today?
It's overwhelming. Nobody sends their children to school, and no child goes to school to expect what took place today in Santa Fe. And my heart goes out to every one of those families, both the families that lost their children and the survivors, because they are now going to be marked the rest of their life in dealing with this situation. And there's no simple answer, because every situation is different. This is not like a fire in the school where everybody exits the building calmly and you walk away from the fire. We don't know the reaction of another human being as they're killing. Also, the situation is, are there multiple killers on the loose? Are you running from one gunshot to run into an ambush on another situation? This is what professional law enforcement is trained to do and watch out for. Children are not, and children should not be going through what they're going through today.
Right, agreed on that. And I wanted to ask this as well. Vidor ISD actually has its own police department.
Correct.
Okay, and so what kind of school security there are some schools that don't have their own police departments, and
Correct.
districts that don't. But talk to me about what that means in terms of dealing with this kind of situation. How helpful is that?
Vidor ISD has a very professional law enforcement organization there with Chief Sanchez. They're going to be as prepared as any organization will be in the state of Texas, across the United States, to deal with this. Of course, when this thing happens, we don't know when and why and exactly when it's going to happen. An immediate call would go out for all surrounding law enforcement agencies to respond. I mean, we'd have multiple agency response. We'd probably, something like that happened in our community, we'd have the Sheriff's Office, we'd have Bridge City, Orange PD, Beaumont PD, DPS, game wardens, everybody respond. That is how we are taught to respond to these active shooters now, is to get as many officers on scene and to confront the killing as quickly as we can.
And last question, very quickly, we understand that one of the students pulled the fire alarm. Should you do that? Should you not do that?
What excellent thinking. He warned everybody else, and that's my thought in this situation. We haven't had a chance to go through and see and analyze this, but he warned everybody else to exit the building. They would have heard the gunshots because they had verified what they were. He got them moving, so I think he is a hero today.
Okay, Chief Carroll. Well, thank you so much for your insight and your knowledge. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, we'll continue this conversation over on our sister station, sister channel, KFDM, at 6 o'clock, when Beaumont Police Chief Jim Singletary joins me to talk about how his department handles active shooter situations on school campuses. And again, that's at 6 o'clock on our sister station, KFDM.